The meta in Valorant is a really complicated thing. Of course, there's agents that are generally seen as being stronger than other agents, and a lot of the time conclusions about that meta are made by examining the highest level of play. Unfortunately, that doesn't always translate perfectly to solo queue. This leads to drastically different picks being either stronger or weaker at different tiers of play. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys a list of the best agents to play at every rank. Starting from the bottom at Iron, we have Reyna. In higher elos, Reyna unfortunately doesn't get that much use because her solo playstyle just straight up doesn't work when players know what they're doing. But when the players don't know what they're doing, Reyna can really take advantage of it. When players don't know how to trade properly, Reyna can feel like she has 2 or even 3 lives thanks to her healing, and since the average player aim isn't very great in that elo, it opens up a lot of room for someone with better aim than average to just take over. Another huge problem with players in Iron is that they don't really understand how to use their abilities correctly, and oftentimes they end up exhausting too much brain power when they use them, taking away from their ability to aim. In my opinion, an easier to play agent like Reyna is great because she also allows the player to focus on just trying to hit their shot, since her kit's so basic that it doesn't require that much thought to pilot. So what you have is an agent that's easy to use and gets a lot of value when players don't know how to play against her, which is why she's such a great pick in Iron. Moving on to Bronze, things do start to change a bit. However, a lot does stay the same. Players in Bronze are still lacking a lot of the fundamental skill to be able to pilot more difficult to play agents. So the agents that end up being the best are the ones with simple, easy to use kits that are also effective. Sage, for example, is very strong in that elo. Most of the time, players aren't hitting headshots, so it's very common for players on your team to survive a gunfight they take early in a round. Your healing orb effectively gives them a second life. Speaking of second lives, Sage's Resurrect is also one of the most impactful ultimates in the game, and one that even Bronze players can make the most of. Finally, players in Bronze don't always shoot or wall, which gives it a ton of value. This can allow Sage to more confidently rotate to another site, knowing that the flank is secured. Sage's abilities are such high impact for the skill level required to use them, which is why she's such an amazing pick in Bronze. Now that I'm done talking about Bronze, let's move on to Silver. In Silver, players start to get better at the fundamentals. You'll find better crosshair placement, on average, better trading, although inconsistent, and you'll even see players using their utility. It's a very mixed bag, and when loading into a game, you really never know what you're gonna get. One of the biggest things I've noticed when it comes to Silver is that smokes are as important in that elo as any other one above it, but usually the player on smokes just has no idea what they're doing. This leads to a ton of inconsistency in games where you push onto sides with your team and you end up dying to an area that should have been smoked off. So in my opinion, it's a really good idea to take over that role for the team and put that responsibility into your hands. Omen is an agent that still has a ton of carry potential while also having the ability to smoke for the team. Omen's paranoia in particular is so powerful, especially in Silver where players don't have the movement or spatial awareness to be able to get out of the way when they're blinded. So a lot of the time, a well-timed paranoia can net you 1 to 2 kills. Omen is both a powerful and important agent in almost any team comp, and is one of the best picks in Silver. Now that we're out of Silver, it's time to talk about Gold. Gold, where you're going to find the average player. The aim in Gold isn't bad by any means. Players here usually have a pretty good grasp of how to use their abilities, and their coordination with their teammates is decent at times. However, there's still a lot you can take advantage of in this rank, and my favorite agent to do that with is Raze. What I love about Raze in Gold is that her utility is so good at taking advantage of the chaos that you'll find in Gold, while also being strong enough in general to keep up with other picks. A well-timed nade can kill an unsuspecting Sova or Skye that decides to pull out their drone or Trailblazer. You can bet that no one on the enemy team is going to warn that Sova to get off that drone since everyone's busy thinking of themselves. Her abilities are just extremely annoying to deal with and get a ton of value when players misplay into them. So what you have is an agent that's easy enough for Gold players to play that also takes advantage of the average player's slower reaction time and poor decision-making skills to get a ton of value. Up next on this list is, of course, Platinum. In Plat, there's a ton of agents that can work if you're looking to climb, but the one that I believe is the best is Chamber. The truth is, in Plat, you still can't really rely on your teammates very much. A lot of Plat players have really big egos, and they just refuse to cooperate, so it's usually better to stick to an agent that's better at playing by themselves. And Chamber is such a great pick because he allows you to play more aggressively to make big round-winning plays, while also not being in too much of a risk to where you lose the round if you don't hit your shot. He also provides just enough utility to be a help to the rest of your team. And not to mention that Plat players love to rotate early on the defense side, and your trip is great for holding down your flank so that you don't get lurked on. Chamber is a fantastic agent in general, but he's especially great if you're looking to carry in Plat. And when it comes to Diamond, the best agent to play, in my opinion, is Viper. I won't lie, I'm probably at least a little bit biased when it comes to this spot, being a Viper main myself. But trust me when I say that Diamond is one of the best ranks to abuse her, especially on the maps where she's strong. The coordination is pretty decent in Diamond, but certainly not perfect. And Viper's utility is great at tearing apart uncoordinated teams. Diamond is also a rank where players start to play their roles a lot more, so your team will usually be able to take sites and allow you to play for post plants more often. It's also a lot harder to coordinate a defense than it is to just 5-man rush a site. And in Diamond, teams are definitely coordinated enough to rush a site, but they're not always coordinated enough to defend the rush. So a lot of the time, your team will be able to get control of a site, and then it's up to you to play the post plant and stall long enough for the spike to go off. You can easily take advantage of Diamond lobbies with an agent like Viper, which is why she gets this spot on this list for me. We're almost at the end of the list here, but we still have a couple of entries to go. When it comes to Ascendant, the meta starts to matter a bit more than the ranks below it. That being said, the best pick for this rank, in my opinion, is Kayo. Kayo is an extremely versatile agent that's able to make solo plays while also providing a ton of utility for a team. He has arguably the best flash in the game, but the skill required to use it is a little bit higher than others. Although, by Ascendant, you should have the mechanical skill to be able to handle it. Ascendant is also a rank where teamwork starts to become a lot more common, and comboing abilities is something that's pretty much expected. Kayo is great for that because his kit is so good at stopping all that momentum that the enemy team would get with their abilities, while also having great synergy with a ton of other agents as well. Kayo is just a fantastic all-around agent, and one that you should definitely consider picking up in the Ascendant rank. Of course, we can't end this list without talking about Immortal. The average player in this rank has the skill necessary to play some of the hardest agents in the game, and the agents that benefit the most from this is Fade. Fade is extremely overtuned. The problem is that she isn't as intuitive as some of the other agents in the game. Her kit is extremely difficult to deal with when in the right hands, and in Immortal, there's a ton of players with the right hands. If you're able to hit all of her abilities, you can make the enemy team's life absolutely miserable. Her Prowler, one of the best tools in the game for taking space and clearing angles. Her Eyeball is also very strong. Allowing her to find enemy locations and getting marked is extremely dangerous. When timed correctly and placed properly, you can leave an enemy extremely vulnerable as they're stuck in the open and visible through a smoke. The Eyeball also combos well with her Prowler that'll chase down any enemy that she marks. Not to mention her Seize and her Ult, which are both extremely powerful abilities in their own right. Fade's extremely good at both opening up space as well as stopping pushes in their tracks. It's why she takes the spot for the best agent to play in Immortal. And that's all for this video. Of course, there's probably a ton of great agents we didn't get the chance to talk about, so if you think there's any that we missed, don't forget to let us know in the comments. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As always, all of us here at SkillCapped would like to give you a huge thank you for watching, and we'll see you again in the next one.